Good morning and welcome to today's CIO WaterCooler TV episode. I'm joined by Aline Hayes from Experian. Aline, you're the Director for Transformation EMEA. Thanks for taking some time to join us on today's show. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Dave. How are you?
Not too bad, given that it's wet and it's January.
Yeah, other than that.
Other than that, fine. Look, I mentioned there that you're the Director of Transformation. Yet recently your role did include transformation and BAU, but you've been asked to drop the BAU aspects of what you're doing and just concentrate on transformation. I think that might be an interesting place to start.
Okay, yeah, sure. I think if we look at Experian's ambitions globally, but particularly in EMEA as well, there is a huge transformation agenda ahead of us over the next 5 to 7 years. And there is a large amount to be done, particularly in EMEA, because of its breadth. If you think about the number of countries we cover, it's huge. It's everywhere from, Western Europe through to Africa. So a very, very large area. And trying to do BAU and do technical transformation and to be able to lead that. And it's not just about kind of technical change, it's also about changing the ways that we work and moving to agile and DevSecOps as standard and things like that. It's really hard to do both. So I was asked if I would take the lead for the technical transformation and leave the BAU behind. And I obviously was deeply saddened to leave BAU behind. No, I wasn't. So absolutely it suits me. So the majority of what I was doing kind of split into a lot of BAU stuff that's hugely critical around some of our key services, but a lot of what I was doing was around transformation anyway. So it was a natural move for me to take that on.
And look, you've said before that very much it's a case now that the organisation is being led by technology, and you feel like it should be more of a partnership. I suppose that's opening up an opportunity then for technologists to get involved in non-traditional technology capacity, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a very technical company. Virtually everything we do relates to data and technology. So when I say it's led by technology, I don't mean it's led by technologists. But what it is that technology runs through pretty much everything that we do. That does mean that you get the opportunity to step in and do different things. So I've been involved in things that I wouldn't have expected to be involved in other organisations. My colleagues have the same. So, I'll be talking directly to clients about their strategic direction and the things that they need to get done. And I have a stakeholder relationship with one of our core clients, which I really enjoy because it gives me a completely different view of what we do, an outside-in view of what we do. And I think that's hugely important, and I'm able to bring their insight into what we do internally then. So, yeah, it's a great opportunity.
Now, look, the expectation that people have coming into a career these days is not what it was even 15, 20 years ago. I think people expect that they're going to have a number of different mini careers within their career these days. And we all know that the life cycle of a set of skills is far shorter than it used to be. So I suppose as a technology leader, you have a responsibility to those people to give them opportunities to constantly reset and refresh, right? So how do you do that?
I think there's a number of ways. So I think one of the things is employing people who have a mindset of being eternally curious, wanting to know things. And I think lots of technologists are like that anyway. They enjoy finding things out, they enjoy learning, they enjoy solving problems, and that keeps their skills fresh. And I think also it's about being clear about the direction we're going in and supporting people through that. So, for example, if you make the change to things like Agile and DevSecOps, there's actually a huge amount of mindset shift that needs to take place for that to be effective. And you can only do that if you prepare people. Some people are very open to it already, and it doesn't require a lot to support them. And for some other people, they will require more training and more support. But the value is in getting them there. So I think you kind of need to have a bit of a mixed model. It's no good just saying, oh, we'll run a training course and everybody will be fine, because it doesn't work like that. And I think you also need to hire for some of the softer skills. So rather than just hiring someone who's an expert in a particular technical domain that in 5 years' time might not be relevant, hire people who demonstrate the fact that they actually learn themselves, that they keep their own skills and their own practice fresh, because they'll be easier to move on to the next technologies.
And if you're looking for an organization that is truly transformative, then you're looking for that diversity of thought. And it's one thing getting a lot of different people with different skill sets there, but you said that some people might be slightly more reticent to be gregarious, I suppose, and to put forth their opinions. How do you make sure that you draw the best out of each individual?
I think that's a really good point, and I think it's one that it doesn't matter what domain you're in. I think we all struggle with that. How do you bring everybody to the table and make sure that everybody gets that opportunity to contribute? Because if we only have few voices that are always the people who talk, we'll just get a real mono view of the world. And I think there's a couple of things you can do. So firstly, as a leader, you need to be watching for the people who are staying quiet. Why are they staying quiet? Is it because they don't have the opportunity to say what they want to say? And explore that. And also don't keep using mechanisms that assume that everybody wants to stand up on stage and, sing a song for 5 minutes as a way of showing what they know, because some people are really uncomfortable with things like that. Doing presentations to your peers is great, but it terrifies some people and they won't take the opportunity. So think about the different ways that people can contribute, what they're going to contribute, and encourage it and create the opportunities. And if they're not happening naturally as a leader, you need to create them, and you need to encourage everybody around you to do the same thing so that everybody gets the opportunity to contribute.
Yeah. Look, a bit of a Wizard of Oz moment, almost pulling back the curtain. Obviously, we had a conversation yesterday prepping, and you mentioned that you have a son who's at this kind of crossroads, trying to work out how you got into the position that you're in and how he might do the same. What do you think there is that is specifically different to the much hyped and talked about Gen Z style worker, where you're looking to attract, you're looking to retain, you're looking to harness that particular type of individual to help grow your organization?
So it's been really interesting listening to him talking about what's important to him. So we've been talking about what kinds of jobs might he look for? What is it that's going to motivate him? What is it that he needs to be realistic about? So we've talked about, what does he expect to earn? How does he expect to work? What kinds of things is he passionate about? Is he happy to do a job and get the more exciting balance from things that are not work? How important will work be for him? And it's been fascinating that he's already assumed that he won't have a job for life in one company, whereas, a number of years ago, that lots of people did have that expectation, and we still do have lots of people in organisations that have done 20, 30 years in the same organisation very successfully. He's not expecting that. He's expecting to work in an environment where being allowed to use his mobile phone in working time is perfectly normal. But there are organisations today that will still tell you that you cannot have your personal mobile phone with you. He expects to be able to use social media to research things, and he uses the internet as a normal thing. That all sounds really normal, but it is how people work. And I think the other things are, he's not motivated by the same things I think my generation is. So he's quite happy with the idea that he might do 3 months somewhere to get some experience and then move on to something else. Whereas we're still in an environment that says if your CV shows gaps smaller than 2 years, people start to question that. He will go somewhere where he feels he's valued and where he's getting good experience and he enjoys it. And he expects the package to recognise and value him. And it be based around, him as a person. So I think he's got some quite different views. It is interesting.
Absolutely.
Sorry, go on.
No, go on.
Sorry. I was going to say, I think the thing that I've said to him that I think would help him in terms of getting the kind of career that he would like is to say yes to opportunities. And I think he's already got that mindset anyway, with the idea that he might do short-term blocks in places to get experience. So do things, even if you hate it, it's an experience and you've learned from it and you will learn something useful from it. And if someone thinks you've got a capability, even if you haven't, try it. The worst that can happen is that you hate it and you've got other choices, so that's fine.
Absolutely. We apply the idea of iteration to technology, so why not apply it to life?
Fail forward. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Look, it's been fascinating to talk to you, Aline. Thank you very much for giving up some time. If you've enjoyed today's episode of the CIO WaterCooler TV, of course, there are plenty more episodes. Just browse around the site, scroll down this page to explore those. But thank you for your time.